Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Come back. I'm starting a new segment on Friday nights. We're gonna call it Night Talks, and we're gonna go. Well, tonight we're gonna cover the Johnny Depp thing going on, and it is Friday. We made it. Katrina, cheers. You need one of these, honey. Okay. Now, I don't know about you all, but I have been like watching this like a hawk. And I am so all about victims of domestic violence, sexual assault. I'm all for the victims. Trust me. Been there, done that, lived it. So why is it? Why is it? Let me just say this. Right off the bat, toxic, should have never been together. It's like oil and water. No, should have never got married. But for some reason, they found one another. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna be open-minded. Get off the bed. Sorry, it's on my bed. I don't have his blanket on there, so something just doesn't sit right with me about it. And I've watched her, because trust me, I had to go to court, and I know well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what she does when she gets up on the stand. So, but right now, I'm feeling she was kind of like pushing it. And she did open herself up when she talked about having the post-traumatic stress. That did open her up for that evaluation she got. So, don't make me use my hammer, because I will come down. But I've listened to all of everything. And I watch it at night again, too. I don't know why it's going dark night. That's weird. But anyways, something is just not right with her. The way I don't know. And I watched that one lady come on there, and she was talking how she'd been a victim, and she works with, victims of abuse, and she just doesn't act like that. She almost acts defiant. I mean, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. But right now, I'm leaning towards her. Towards him. Excuse me. And to be honest, everything that's coming out, she was getting a free ride. I mean, she didn't pay anything. She didn't pay for anything. He paid for everything for her lifestyle. And when I was listening to the accountant and going through the things and talking about expenses and how she liked that wine that was $500 a bottle, and when they spoke that those 2 of those a night were going $1,000. I'm like, whoa, what planet? I guess the rich have a very, very different life than the average person. But Johnny, I'll just say JD. JD is he knew this was going to open. He knew all this was going to come out. He knew it. He knew how she taped things. And I just want to say, do you notice how he wears those rings on his hands? Every picture or video that I've watched, I would walk back and watch, many, many of them. He's always got these rings on. If he had physically hit her in the face, or those would have been, those would damage. Those would inflict great damage to her face. So that was a little weird. And then another thing that kind of, if something like that had happened, like when the finger thing happened, well, first of all, I wouldn't have thrown stuff like that, but I can't believe how she didn't even go, if she didn't even go to the hospital with him. And that was pretty serious. My God, his bone's sticking out. Ugh. And I do believe him when he says the only person he's abused is himself. And he's been very honest about his demons. Just drinking and I don't know. I feel like, and the pot thing, half of America does that. The other cocaine and stuff, yeah, that could, but it sounds like she was just as much into all of that than he was, and then taking the ecstasy, and, my God. I don't know. When I was going through it, I had somebody that was like her, and he was on me. And I'm empath, and I immediately retreated. Immediately. And he was always telling me, because I'm not a fighter. Now, that's not to say I won't stand up for what I believe in, and that's different. I'm talking about, domestic arguing and all that, the yelling. Thank goodness they had no children. And let's talk about, I guess just say it. What in the heck is going on with the judo in the bed? Really? I can't even well, I'm sure, I don't want to imagine how it got there. But I'm like, really? How did you retrieve that? Or, I don't want to know. That was nuts. That was totally nuts. And she did tell that, the driver and the security guy that, he was a driver and security, that she left a surprise in the bed for him. And it sounds like, her life was just, he's working on Pirates of the Caribbean, right? She flies down there, right? All of her friends go. He's putting them all up. And they're just party. That was just so toxic that it's just, I don't even... And I know when Johnny was up there and being grilled by the prosecuting attorney, or whatever, I would have said those little things too. I would be so done. I would have been so done with that. And all that money he gave her, and then she kept wanting more and more, and then she wanted to be tax-free, and then, my God. I can't believe it. She's in trouble. And another thing that makes me believe JD is, when all those other people were getting in trouble, and women were coming out of the woodwork with their stories. Not one other woman has come forward and said anything that he... Now we'll see next week when she brings her witnesses in and everything, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. And I will have to say, he did lose a lot. And he lost even more when he got up. He did what he did because he was just tired and wanted the truth out. He knew he was going to be opened up to all that stuff and all of his, everything imaginable. And don't you think it's kind of strange that she conveniently always has that camera in his, tape and everything? It seems odd to me. When he was slamming the cabinets around, we don't know what led up to that. And she came in and, I don't know, everything was all right. I don't know. I'm just tending to believe in him. And that I haven't even followed. I didn't know about them and their troubles, and they got divorced. I didn't know about it until I happened to see it, when I'm bored one day, and I'm like, whoa. So it wasn't like I've been like why does that keep going bright and not? That's weird as heck. So that just is, I don't know, there's too many weird things going on. And didn't I read or I saw something about, she had a female partner at one time, and there was a domestic violence charge on Amber then. It's weird that didn't get put in. Probably for some reason they can't bring in, and I don't know. It's going to be very interesting next week, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But by watching, and I'm telling my grandson, Zoe, he will tell you, I cannot help. I'm a people watcher. I did it for 5 years, and I know it sounds crazy, but when you work in law enforcement, and that's your job to watch, and and I was in the hospitals and patrolled the hospitals and all that. It just you just start watching people, and you start seeing things, and it's hard. I'm always doing that. My grandson tells me all the time, Nana, let it go. Let it go. I go, it's hard not to, though. But right now I'm feeling for him. I do think it was toxic. I do think all that screaming and their language, and absolutely that's craziness, but they were on the crazy train. No doubt. But and that's another thing. If she was so afraid, why are you picking up a camera? And why are you engaging with him? If you were in fear and he hurt you, like, go. I took verbal, emotional abuse for years. And I was in law enforcement, but I left law enforcement, and that's another thing, because that's what he wanted. I wasn't around. He was he worked in the mail services, but he didn't want me around to see what he was doing, because he was a big whore dog. And it's pretty much been covered. She was doing some night moves herself, and JD was gone. Even bringing him up in the elevator and taking him to the penthouse. But I really believe she thinks she's right. She's always right. And another thing, I heard JD talk about being at dinner on the island, and his friend, the one friend that, and